record it as well. Great, so it is almost the top of the hour by literally a few seconds. Ah, look at that, 10 seconds. Perfect. I like to give people the opportunity to jump on exactly on time. I like to start things promptly. So welcome to the call, guys. Thanks for taking the time out to be on these sessions. I hope you guys are getting a lot from it and progressing with your live trading. So for those familiar with the DTB system, we have a host of indicators and strategies that are very effective in determining what price is doing, where price is more likely to be going, different support and resistance levels, and a few other bits and pieces to really help you make better trading decisions. Let's put it to that. Okay, so, and all for a low subscription, so that you're not going to be spammed with weekly emails. In fact, some companies send me daily emails, 3-4 daily emails with this amazing new system and do this, and it drives me freaking insane. So I like to be nice and straight and simple. I offer you a complete system. I add to it every now and then. You just have one fixed cost for it, and you get unequaled support and the best tools available. So glad you are here to enjoy this with me. Right, so risk disclosures. It's important to understand how trading can impact your accounts. So good to read that. And as also just look at the video. There's going to be a link to that in the video. Okay, great. So I'll switch to my VPS. So I was watching this, I was actually trading this chart earlier, and I was just looking at these incredible moves in the price and the way how these Fibonacci levels are catching the price just perfectly. It's like literally, literally perfectly how these levels are working and how they are able to, just get the price and, pick up these turns and stuff. And also, for those who are not part of the DTB system yet, or who were not on the call earlier, you will notice that our Fibonacci levels looks a little bit different. You'll see on the right now, we have all the levels labeled. So you've got the bottom here is the daily 50%. That is where the price bounced off almost to the tick, literally probably 4 or 5 ticks from that level that it bounced off. So that is what that is. They're all labeled now. So with the 4 hour 23.6, there's a 5 minute hiding on that same level too. So you've got all these levels showing on the chart, and extremely, extremely beneficial. So let me just check something. I've got center price on scale on this chart. For those also using the analytical strategy, the shadow trading indicator. So if you haven't tried this before, while we're looking at it, try the shadow trading indicator with center price on scale on your chart. And what this is going to do is it's going to also give you the signals of the momentum line. So it's a slightly different way of trading it. So notice how the momentum line switches above and below price. And that's going to happen in real time while you are trading it. So if you look over there, there's no clear direction in price. It's only here that the momentum line is below price. So while that momentum line is below price, when you've got center price on scale, what's going to happen is that is just going to keep sucking it in, okay? And then what will ultimately happen is that momentum line will catch back up to price, like over there, okay? It crosses over price to tell you that this trend is now finished, okay? So if we look back from when that started, you know, say you got in a little bit late over there at the bottom of this candle over here, say somewhere over there, you got in, you're watching the momentum line, watching what it's doing, you're getting some overbought, you're coming up to the daily Fibonacci level. So that's a very close area anyway to be acting on. So you would be pausing there anyway. But even if you weren't watching that and you were looking at price, now the price has come over the momentum line, there's 120 ticks. So even if you waited over there, you were in that trade. Now the next position, if you went for a long over here, you're watching the momentum line. Okay, you're watching it. There we go, it crossed over price. Now there we actually ended up at a minus 19 ticks. But notice how we also had these divergences over here. So you can also pay attention to those divergences when the when the market is changing. So there's a few, these are the type of things you can look at. And then while this momentum line is below the price again, it's the same thing over there, keeping in that position until it crosses over, or until you get a very, very clear positioning of these Fibonacci levels around very key levels. So those are the areas where you can be pausing, especially when you get, when you got your Fibonacci levels with your divergences and a host of things happening. And this level at the bottom here is a daily 50 and a 4-hour 38.2. So it's very, very strong levels to watch out on. And then we catch that whole trade going up. Look, this whole time, this entire move going over here, this whole move over here from, oh, come on, you bastard. This thing irritates me sometimes. Oh man, you kidding me? Okay, so again over here, watching this, far out, NinjaTrader. You can't use a tool and you got to use your mouse. Okay, my fault, my bad. So same thing over here. Momentum line crossed over. You've got your divergences. Be very mindful of the divergences that come into place. If you have a very swift swing in the momentum line like we had earlier there, then you could exit your strategy. But again, we're right up to the 23, the 4-hour, which is over here. You've got a huge swing down in your momentum line, so it's time to get out. And there's another 140 odd tick move. So that's right up until right now. So you can wait until the momentum line has crossed over price to exit the position, or you can wait until there's a definite change in direction of this momentum line with a lot of divergences and a strong Fibonacci level. So that's a little bit of very quick running onto that. Okay, I'll pull this out the way. And let's have a look at the analyzer. So I've saved, most of you have got the templates for the analyzer. So we're going to be using the same system or the same approach that we did last week. So last week we did, I'll run through one of the settings because that'll give us just, a refresher on it. So we're optimizing the analytical bar strategy 1. We're using a time slot between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And we are optimizing a few different values, setting A1 to 20, setting B1 to 40, true, true, false, false for the repaints. And we are optimizing a 1616 analytical bar size using the 29th of August to the 12th of October instrument settings. Now, I didn't change the beginning date. I actually forgot about the beginning date. But generally what we've been doing in the past is we've been going the next week. So because we're on the 10th of the next month now, we want to optimize at least a month's worth of data and a week. But now this is basically going to be a little bit more. We use the same date from last week. I mean, this 29th of the 8th, we've been using for the last 2 weeks now, actually. So I've just kept that for this. It's just giving us a larger amount of data to optimize. And then we've got the same setting. So I ran this earlier, and the good thing about this is you can run it anytime before 9 a.m. So you've got after yesterday's session, not yesterday because it was weekend, but you could have run this anytime from Friday, 10 a.m. all the way up until now, 9 a.m. So you've got, a few days even before, or at least from the end of the last session that we're trading up until the next session to do your optimizations and then run those settings. So going to the chart on these, this is what I last ran this at 6:45 a.m. It doesn't matter when I ran it last because it's only taking into consideration the 9:30 or 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. trade. So this, as an example, would have been Fridays, Thursdays and Fridays trades, the previous trades over here, and that are listed over there. And now we are on the 11th. Okay, so I ran these optimizations earlier. I ran the 16, 16, and these were the results that came up. So I go and click on this drop down under display, and I select analysis, day of week. So I'm just viewing what is more likely, what has given the best results over the last few weeks consistently, and I'm also looking at the specific day that we are trading. So as an example, here is the Monday. Okay, so on a Monday for the last 5 weeks, we've had 24 trades, 2008 net profit, with these values. Now I also look at the settings and I look at the max drawdown. So I'm also looking at that. I'm thinking, do I want to get anywhere near that max drawdown? So I'm viewing a couple of things, in keeping a few things in mind to choose which setting I want to run for the session. Now remember, we're only running for 1 hour, and it's past it. Most 90% of the trades happen after 9:30 anyway. So there's very few trades happen before 9:30. So even if you go to the half hour of day, you're going to notice very few trades are happening between 9 and 9:30. Most of them are happening from 9:30 onwards. So we've got, even if you only start at 9 a.m. with your optimizations, you've got up until 9:30 to get something set up before your day actually starts. Okay, so there was that option there. My next analyzer was exactly the same settings, but I use an 18 bar size, and I'm looking over here. This one looks a bit better. If you look at this, it says 10,800 with a 2.6 drawdown. This one was 10.7 with a 3.1. Bit of a muchness there. Let's have a look at the next one. 5.18, 2.7 drawdown. Bit of a bad day over there. I'm just looking at the top results for right now. This one over here is a 22.22 chart. Now, this one actually caught my attention because I'm looking at Monday, which looks very good. Tuesday looks very good. Wednesday, we did have a down day, but Thursday and Friday, we've had good days. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and I'm also looking at the maximum drawdown. So over the entire month and a half or 5 weeks of this strategy settings running, it's only had a drawdown of 1,800, and that wasn't on a Monday. Okay. And it has had a 49% accuracy, which is pretty good, with only an 1,800 drawdown, making over 10,000. So that's why I'm actually leaning towards using this one on this session. So that's what I'm looking at. Now I'll look at the next optimization anyway. So the next one I'm looking at here, I optimized between so if you look at the data series on the previous one, you'll notice that it says NQ last DTB analytical bars 2222. So what I basically did is I created a duplicate of that. And instead of using those values, I went down to optimize data series. When you select optimize data series, you are able to optimize the first value in the settings. So I optimized between an 8 and 24. This is the bar size in increments of 8. So it's going to optimize 8, 8, 16, 8. 8, 16, 24, 8. It's going to optimize 3 different bar sizes in one optimization. So I did that. This came up with $12,000, so a higher return. But I did see also a higher, max drawdown, and I saw a huge difference between Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, a bit of a all over the place there. And even with these ones over here, they look good, but I'm still not crazy about those specific ones just because of the drawdown values. There is this setting that looks pretty good, but it's only got 23 trades, so it's much fewer positions. Okay, so looking at that now, if you notice on the next one, I did the exact same as the previous one, but I started from a 16 bar size with a 16 baseline. So it's gonna optimize 16, 16, 32, 16, 48, 16. So it's going to also optimize 3 different bar sizes and give us results from there. And again, over there, we had some good results. So 2000, this one's not too bad, the first one, but it does have a bit of a dip the second day. So, this is just my thought process of running. This one looks pretty awesome if you look at the average days, but then it has a 3,000 drawdown, so which could have happened on this Friday. So I'm looking for settings that are showing a good degree of consistency without a very high drawdown. And that's why I'm thinking that this 22 is decent. So when you run these optimizations, they're only going to take, it's only going to be 800 iterations. So when I ran these optimizations, that only took about a minute or so for each of them to run. So this is not a very long, drawn-out process that I'm doing here. Just explaining it is a bit drawn out, but once you get into the hang of it, you've saved your templates. You can run this all in 15, 20 minutes, and you're completely done with all your optimizations and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this one here once it comes up. Okay, so that took only, it took only 34 seconds to run. Okay, so now I'm going to go template and I'm going to go save. And this is the 22 chart. So that one over there. And I'm going to call it trading chart. So now I know when I go to my strategy, I know which one to basically add on. So I'm going to move this out the way. I'm going to bring up a trading chart. Okay. So over here, I'm just going to go to my strategies over here. I'm going to deactivate this one. Okay. And if you, and also I'm going to be using a funded account through Apex Trader. That's the one I'm going to be using from this week. I have already started with this account. I started actually on Friday, and I started with 250,000, and it's just gone up to 251,320 since Friday. So a little bit of trading on Friday and a little bit today has done that. So now I'm going to go and set up my strategy on this chart. Okay, so I've got a 22 from the 29th of the 8th using instrument settings. Okay, so let's go do that. So data series, a 22. I'm using instrument settings on here. And I'm going from the 29th of that date to that date. Okay, so I'm set that up. It's going to be loading up the data. While that's loading, have a look at this chart. Look at the price coming to the 4-hour 23.6. So I'm expecting this to bounce off there, down. It's basically had a free run this entire way, all the way to that Fibonacci level. That is a huge, huge, huge move of basically 258 ticks straight in one direction with nothing stopping it. So that's the power of these tools, to be able to pick up where these where these things are. Okay, so strategies. So strategies, I'm going to pop in the template. So template, load, my 2222, load. Okay, I'm selecting the account. I'm going to go wait until flat synchronize, apply, okay. And then immediately I'm going to go and check my strategy over here to make sure that the chart is matching the chart on there. So if I'm looking at that, let me just do something over here, squeeze this a little bit, squeeze this a little bit, just so we can match it. So notice the strategy analyzer. If I just do this a little bit, I might just have to narrow this down, because we want to basically compare the strategy analyzer chart to the strategy, to the trading chart. Okay, so that is what we're doing over here right now. We are, I don't have to really do it this much, but if you look at the bars over there, okay, come on, I'll just make this on global, so it makes it a little bit easier to see. And global. So if you notice, the top chart is my trading chart, the bottom is my analyzer, and they're matching perfectly. Okay, the brick wall is matching perfectly. So I know that my analyzer and my trading chart are matching 100%. Okay, so now that I know that is the case, I'm going to go press start on there and let this run for the session. Okay, anybody want to ask anything?
Mine, I'm running the same as you, Jay, so I got the same kind of numbers, but my chart has the brick wall ending at 644. It doesn't run, it is lined up, it doesn't run all the way across to where it is on the strategy analyzer chart. Okay, so just check your chart data to make sure that everything is matching up on the chart. If it's not, then you've got a data corruption issue. So you've got to have your you've got to have these values. So as soon as you load it up on your trading chart, these bottom values here on your strategy analyzer, -1861, 49%, 10,200, have to match your trading chart exactly. If that's not matching, it'll only match if there's a current trade in play, but if there's no current trade, those values have to match perfectly. If they're not matching, if your values are not matching, you've got a data issue. And remember yesterday, or not yesterday, on Friday or Thursday, we had a data issue on my system. And NinjaTrader will not tell you you've got a data issue. You just got to thumb suck it, hopefully, and figure it out yourself, which is why I'm actually building a tool to help with that. But if you are having, if you're having a data issue, you just got to go to your documents, NinjaTrader 8. So a quick one, Marisha, you could do the same optimization on MNQ. So instead of choosing NQ, choose MNQ. You can choose ES, you can choose YM, you can choose any contract that you want to trade and just have different bar sizes because they do move differently. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so coming back to the data corruption issues. So if you have a data corruption issue, which does happen quite regularly, unfortunately, you've got to go into your DB folder. So you go into your DB folder and you can actually delete all your cache. Okay, delete your cache. Click into day, delete all your day files, everything. Go into minute, delete everything. Go into tick and delete everything. Once those are all empty, don't delete the folder, just delete the contents of the folder. Once those are deleted, actually first close NinjaTrader, then delete them, then reopen NinjaTrader. And then once NinjaTrader has reopened, it's going to refresh all that data, hopefully accurately. Then you can run your analyzer again and go from there and make sure that you've got no corruption issues. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. You know, you would think it'll be simple to not have data corruption issues. You would think that if you right-click on the chart and go reload all historical data, it will automatically, you know, refresh all your files. But unfortunately, it doesn't. It doesn't do that at all. So it does. It is
up to you to be in charge of making sure your data is matching. And the only way to get your data to be matching perfectly is to see when you're running a strategy analyzer. And then you can see immediately if your data is corrupted or not. Okay, good. So we're almost at 9:30. Looking at that 16-16 chart that we were just talking about, look how it's bounced off that level. So there's the 4 hour 23.6, and there was a 1 hour 61.8 above that. So even if you are strictly just trading these Fibonacci levels and you're entering at these levels with a reasonable stop of 30 ticks, you can still get some incredible scalping opportunities and be in, be done for, if you just want to enter 3 or 4 or 5 contracts on a small move like that, you're done trading for the day. You don't have to have multiple trades running, depending on what you actually want to achieve with your trading. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes until they open. We've got the price bouncing around, fighting off this brick wall, which is the same place as, I'm actually going to load my Fibonacci levels on here too, just so we have them on this chart. So we don't have to bring up another level, another chart. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to check if I have to do just refresh something. Let me just check on this. Okay, good. I'm just going to change my 5-minute Fibonacci's to be solid. So if you want to do the same, you can do that. So 5-minute Fibonacci in gray, you just check the first box and untick the second. And once you've done that, it's going to be a lot smoother on the chart. Great, and I'll bring up my the video in case anybody is commenting or asking questions on YouTube. I'll keep an eye on that.
Hey, Jason, I don't have the brick wall in my indicators.
Is it because you untick the box?
I heard you just talked about that, but I wasn't looking. I was looking at a different screen when you said that. So, but I've got my indicator menu open, and I don't see the SI brick wall.
Correct. So basically what you've done is in your strategy analyzer settings, you have unticked the box that says add chart indicator to strategy. So if you disable your strategy and then go tick that box and then re-enable it, your brick walls will be there.
Okay.
So the reason why, for those who might see the same in the future, is I made the strategy be able to work without displaying the indicator in the settings, so that it can run faster. So it's basically, I put that box there so that for people that have got slower machines, they're able to run their optimizations a lot quicker without having all the indicators data put into the analyzer. Just the important things are put in.
And which box again is it that I need to check?
Add chart indicator to strategy.
Okay. No, it is checked.
Are your bars colored?
Yes.
They are colored, but you don't see any brick walls themselves?
Yeah, it's weird because they're yellow and green, not red and green.
Do you have other indicators on your chart maybe?
I have the shadow trading divergence.
There we go. So you got to remove that because that is coloring the bars.
So you don't really want to have an indicator, or you don't want to have multiple indicators running on the same chart as your trading chart. You want to keep that as clean as possible.
Gotcha. All right, I'm on it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so 1 minute until the open. Let's see what we have today. And we're only going to be trading literally for 30 minutes. So as soon as the 10 o'clock comes, it's going to be automatically exiting any open positions if we don't stop it before. So we're bouncing off the 23.6 at the moment, the 4-hour 23.6. That was the last strong level. But because it's the open and there's a bunch of mad cowboys on Wall Street running the market at this time, it could go anywhere. Just uncheck this box that I had earlier for the movement. So while if these bars stay red and the price just moves around here, we're not going to get any signals. So the price, the strategy only gives signals once the price has broken through brick walls and creates new brick walls. So that is when the strategy is going to be activating positions. Right now, there's none. So we're trading 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I haven't selected a target for the session. I'm just left it open. So we had a beautiful bounce off that 23.6, as you can see over there. And we actually had a similar bounce earlier, where it just kind of broke through it temporarily. And then again, another incredible bounce at the bottom here at 8 a.m., which was the 38.2. So now we come back to this level over here. Okay, so now we've got a green bars, but remember we've got a repaint setting. So sometimes when the bars change color, it's not going to enter a position. So there's 4 repaints built into the strategy, and we have got, if you look at the strategy settings, you're going to notice that we've got over here as true, true, false, false. Anyway, so there's our first trade. That's in. I'm just going to increase again. Now we've had a buy. So let me just increase the data series over here to make this a little bit larger so we can see properties. I've got to go to properties, right? So properties and font. So properties font. I'm going to make this. I'll make it for 16. Let's make it 16. So that's going to show us a nice size for the the trades. Okay, so we've had one losing position and we're currently in a winner, but the price is right by the 50, monthly 250. So that's where we currently are. So we broke through the 4 hour 23.6, went up, touched the 50. Looks like we've come down to the hourly again. I don't really love trading around these levels. I prefer to when the price is in clean air, because we kind of just have a little bit of a bounce around in an area like this. You know, often it can happen. This can happen. Okay, so if I look at what's above this price right now, there's a big gap. Okay, so we've got a huge gap above the price right now to the next strong Fibonacci level. But we've got quite a few trades already happening. You know, some buys and sells. I don't know. These levels, that we need to get direction from these levels before I'm very comfortable with where this price is going to go. I might just center this on scale. So if I go to my data series and center this on scale so we can see a bit clearer the levels above and below and whatever. Okay, so it looks like we broke through the monthly 50%. So that's a big level. So we both broke through it, came back to retest it. Now, are we going to retest it and come back under, or are we going to break upwards? Yeah, so very interesting. You know, you're seeing the price really struggle around these levels. So it's trying to find direction. So it's initially struggled below the 4 hour 23.6. Then it broke up to, it came to the 50 over here, came back down to the 1 hour, came back to the 50, broke through the 50, came back down to retest the 50 a few times, and then broke below the 50, went and retested that 50, and now it's coming back down. So, you know, we kind of are in no man's land at the moment. We between the hourly 61.8, the 4 hour 23.6, the monthly 50, we kind of are in a zone now where, I don't know, to me it looks like there's a good chance that price could go sideways. That's what I'm thinking in this area, unless there's a serious push in one direction. So there we've come to the 1 hour 61.8. Now, at any time, you can also activate your trailing stops, so that you can also use for your strategy just by clicking this box. You can also pause the strategy whenever you want to capture a position or whatever you want to make, and then restart it again. It will act on the next signal. So that's the other option that you can do. I'm going to try not temper or not. I'm not going to do too much. I may not do too much physical work around it. I'm just going to let the strategy run and do its thing. Even though my gut is telling me I should probably be pausing around these strong levels, especially when, you know, when it's going against, when it's moving away from a level. It's now back on the 50. So more than likely a bounce from this 50, unless it was a false breakout earlier, breakdown, and then a run up. So these are a little bit, a bit catchy in this situation. Yeah, I had a feeling about that at the bottom over here at this hourly level. But now that we've broken above the 50%, okay, we might have we may have another test of that, but we've got a huge gap above the price. So we've got a very big gap over here for this price to travel with no real stopping it. There's no strong levels in play above the price right now to actually hinder the price's progress going up. The next level you're seeing here is the 50%, and that's the daily, the 5-minute Fibonacci level. So it's got the indicator's got a brick wall over here. So that's the last signal, is this brick wall over here, this white dotted line. So I'm probably expecting a run up to probably about the 14,868.50. So that's probably a good area for the price to go to, just because there's nothing really stopping it, you see. So from where it is now, probably around over here would be a reasonable area that I expect the price to be going to. So it's a decent space over here for this price to be working in. Especially if it breaks through this 50% quite comfortably. That's the you know, the 5-minute 50%. Sometimes you can have small little bounces off these levels, you know, for the 5 minutes. If I do have a confirmed bounce off there, no, actually, I won't interfere too much with it. I'll bring up another chart and see what that looks like on the analytical 1616 bar. Okay, so we've got a few divergences over there. We've got a few divergences. Momentum line is coming closer to the price. But the momentum line is still above the price at this stage. It's coming dangerously close to it now, though. So this 50% might be a, oh, maybe not. There we go. Momentum line facing up again. We're good. But there we go. Another one. So we'll monitor this. I'll monitor this on the side. So it seems to be struggling at this 50%, like to the tick, it's struggling over there. So we just need one of these bars to break through, then it's probably going to fly up to at least the 38. So that's what is going to happen if this breaks through. So it's broken through now. So we've got a beautiful run. I believe we've got a beautiful run up because it's like an open field ahead. How are you guys progressing with your strategies?
Boom, boom.
I got mine away a little bit late because I had a bit of an issue, but I paused it at 5:52, so I'm happy.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Kurt. I see we have a Kurt with us. I'll just mute you in case something happens. How are you going there, Paul?
Jason, you are one very smart dude, man.
Why?
Because I'm staring at a very nice and green account.
Yes, don't tell anybody, okay? Because I don't want them to come and find me and you know.
I wouldn't dare. Wouldn't dare. Wouldn't dare.
No, that's
How's
good.
that rum going? Are you on it?
That reminds me, I haven't had my rum yet. I wonder it's like going a little bit. It was going sideways for a long time there, you know.
Indeed.
Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of an overbought situation on my shadow trading, but I'm still getting my momentum line facing up. Okay, so I'm getting to the stage now where I'll probably be a little bit keen to start looking at pausing it at this level. So I'll just monitor that briefly for a while and see how that progresses. I would love to see the price come to the 38.2. If it gets to that, I'll be very content to pause it over there. We may just see it come and retest the 50, or it might run straight there. Who knows? I am seeing a lot more of a overbought type of a situation on my indicator list over here. You see how it's starting to fail over there. divergences. So just for, I'm going to pause mine over there. I'm going to pause it over there, not to mean that it's not going to shoot up, but that's just more of a telltale sign that the trend is coming to an end. Okay. A little bit more of an indication that this price is likely to be stalling. We're not at a strong level though, so it's not like it's definitely going to go down. I mean, we kind of I'm also probably expecting it to come and retest this 50%. Okay, so sometimes it could come back down a little bit, retest that, and then break up again. So just because we've only got about 5 minutes or so left of the session, I didn't want to let it drop by like 3 or 4 candles, and then you know, we'd be out, and then the session ends just when it's taken a bit of a dip. So we've had a little bit of, still going up a little bit, but yeah, okay.
So Jason, I have something going on that's weird. I didn't show that in my little menu to the right that I had an open trade. And so I clicked on pause, and then I get one of those red dotted lines that I was in, apparently I was in a trade. And when I wasn't, or when it indicated that I was in a trade, and then I pause it to capture the gains, it didn't say, it didn't add anything to the P&L. So
where did you pause it though? Where on the chart did you pause the strategy?
Oh, I can't remember, but it was probably around like 0942.
No, I mean, like, did you click on which buttons on the chart did you click on?
The pause button to the left.
Okay.
I didn't use anything on the right.
Okay, cool. What are your start conditions of your strategy? Do you have it wait until flat synchronize account? Is that what you have?
I didn't change that part of the strategy. So whatever you had defaulted in there is what I was using.
And what about your data series? Do you have it showing your text and your markers for your positions?
Yeah. Well, it's showing. I've got data series open, out of scale, center price.
Like on your screen, on your chart itself, is it saying close position 1
yes.
AS?
Buy to cover.
Okay, but is it saying ASV1 buy and ASV1 sell and all that?
Yes.
Okay, so just pop me some screenshots in the group, and I'll see if I can figure out what happened. But it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know what could have happened there, because
don't worry. Yeah, I thought if there's a quick question or quick answer, but I'll fool around with it.
You know, you can always go and check your. You can always go and check your, you know, your positions. Your strategies tab will tell you what strategies you've got going. Okay. What is this minus? I don't know what that is. Then you've got your positions, which is telling you what is going on over there. So you check this first before doing anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one. Okay, so there we go. So prices, I should have waited. You know, sometimes I can be a klutz, eh? So there we go. The price, that's where I would like to have paused it, actually, at this 38. So I was thinking that this, what happened over here on these 4 bars was going to happen over here, and it was going to come down, and then we'll be stopped. The session will end over here, and then it'll go up. But it was fortunate what happened here. It went up a little bit, then came down, and then went up, and now it's at that 38. So basically, I did predict the price movement right. It's just I didn't believe myself, obviously, enough to let it stay there.
Jason, you're not a klutz. That's why it's called trading and not prophecy.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think when you have something that's got like a 70 to 80% accuracy in what the price is going to do, sometimes you can be so sure of something and it's definitely going to work, but you're still going to have that 20% of the time where it's not going to do what it does, and that's just how it is. It's not like if you're a pilot and you pull down the landing gear, there's only an 80% chance of that happening. There's probably like a 99.9% chance of that happening, right?
I don't know. Some of the airlines I've worked for, I'm not so sure.
Yeah. Whereas, with trading, the price can look like it's going a certain way, but it is. It's made to bullshit. It's made to fool you. The whole idea with trading, which is why manual trading is so hard, is because it's made so that it looks like an amazing opportunity to enter, and then you enter and the price immediately reverses. And that's 80% of traders will lose exactly immediately like that. So at least with these tools, it is giving you a better hint, like I exited over there, as you can see on these red bars over here. So very, very often those bars with the connected dotted lines, that is it's divergences and telling us that the price is overbought. So that's basically why I paused over there. And even though the price has gone up a little bit, it's still showing that area where this is a good position where the price is more than likely going to stall and reverse. So I didn't make it up or just guess where I should pause. I actually used a tool that has got an extremely, extremely, extremely high, record of price movement and what the price does. And as you can see, even if you go back, all of these bars that you're looking at, that is the color of the bar, and it's never going to change. So when it paints in real time, it stays like that. So that's why you can scroll back on a chart and you can look at any section. Even a little bit earlier, we had some red bars over there, you see, but the price still went up. So that was a signal where the price was in no man's land and it continued running up, which was just after 9:30 and 9:40, you see. But because the price was not near a strong Fibonacci level, it just carried on. But just going back on the chart, you're going to notice how often those red bars and cyan bars determine changes in direction. So red bars overbought, cyan bars oversold, Fibonacci levels come into play. Those red arrows are also painting at the close of that bar. You're not going to paint in arrears. So even on the left over here, you've got some cyan bars, cyan arrows. They painted and they stayed there. They didn't repaint afterwards. But that's also why we've got a momentum line in place. So when the momentum line is below the price, we want to be in a sell position. So even if you've got arrows facing up and you've got an overbought situation and you've got these arrows, you can still stick in a trade while those bars are gold and only wait for a shift in this momentum line direction to exit a position. So there's our red bars on top there again. There's some more cyan bars, red bars, cyan bars. So just spending enough time with this indicator, it's going to give you a very, very good indication of where more likely is price going to go. And look, it is now starting to fail at this level. So it gives you a bit of a pre-warning. Basically before the price reverses. So this whole area here where I paused the strategy, it showed that this trend was tiring out. And we also had approached the stronger Fibonacci level. So we had a beautiful run up from where exactly, we had a beautiful run up from here, where the strategy entered its position. And you know, it ran all the way up over 228 ticks between 9:40 and 9:55, 9:50 really, 9:55. So you got that 15-minute window where it killed it, you know. So you just need to catch a couple of those a week, and you sort it. And that's what these tools give you the opportunity to do. You know, you're not going to find much out there that even comes remotely close to what this is doing. Okay, good. So it's now 10 o'clock. If I look at where is my results, I think I had it up earlier. What did I do with it? Okay, actually wrong chart. So that is the strategy there. If I go to strategy performance and I go real time, because those are the real time trades of the strategy, we didn't do exceptionally well on the call, but I did $326 in net profit over the 6 trades. So that is what it did for me. Again, had I had left it, we would have actually had another. Oh, it's now exactly 10 o'clock. So it's exactly 10 o'clock right now. So the strategy would have exited at this very, very moment for another 135 ticks. So I'm kicking myself a little bit, you know, a little bit. That's another $670 odd. So we actually would have hit $1,000 today. Basically, the strategy would have hit $1,000. So there we go. Okay, guys, same time tomorrow. It'll be 9 a.m. and we'll do the same thing as we did today. We're going to run the same optimizations. We're just going to change the dates to forward 1 day, and we sort it. Now, for those who are going to trade after this, just bear in mind that the price right now is bouncing off that 4-hour 61.8, which is also the 0 line for the 4-hour chart, if you understand how the indicator works. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jason.
Okay.
Cheers.
So, guys, how did you guys do on the session? Sorry, I didn't ask.
400 green.
Okay, perfect.
I paused mine when the momentum bar crossed, so I was 595.
All right, magic. Okay, great. Okay, guys, chat to you tomorrow. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
Bye, Jeff.
Cheers. Thank you.